The mainstream media's portrayal of global warming has become a contentious issue, with some arguing that it is being used as a tool to oppress Christians. On the surface, this claim may seem far-fetched, but upon closer examination, it becomes apparent that there are indeed underlying dynamics at play that contribute to this perception. The media's tendency to conflate environmentalism with atheism, coupled with its lack of representation of Christian perspectives on climate change, has created an environment in which Christians feel marginalized and ostracized. One of the primary ways in which the media contributes to the oppression of Christians is by perpetuating the notion that environmentalism is inherently at odds with Christianity. This is often achieved through the use of loaded language, with terms like climate denier and science skeptic being used to describe individuals who question the prevailing narrative on global warming. These labels are often applied disproportionately to Christians, who are then tarred with the brush of being anti-science and anti-environment. This creates a false dichotomy, where Christians are forced to choose between their faith and their commitment to the environment. Furthermore, the media's tendency to focus on the views of atheists and agnostic environmentalists, while ignoring or downplaying the perspectives of Christian environmentalists, has contributed to the perception that Christians are not concerned about the environment. This is a gross misconception, as many Christians are deeply committed to environmental stewardship and see it as a fundamental aspect of their faith. The Bible teaches humans to be good stewards of the earth, and many Christians take this responsibility seriously. However, their voices are often drowned out by the media's fixation on secular environmentalists, who are seen as the authentic voices on the issue. The media's coverage of climate change has also been criticized for its lack of nuance and balance. The prevailing narrative is often presented as a simple binary choice between believing in climate change and denying it. This binary framework ignores the complexity of the issue and the diversity of perspectives within the Christian community. Many Christians accept the reality of climate change but may disagree with the proposed solutions or the severity of the threat. However, these nuanced views are often ignored or caricatured by the media, which prefers to focus on the more extreme and sensationalist perspectives. The consequences of this media narrative are far-reaching and have contributed to a sense of oppression among Christians. Many feel that their views are being silenced or marginalized, and that they're being forced to conform to a secular worldview that is hostile to their faith. This has led to a growing sense of distrust and disillusionment with the media, which is seen as being biased against Christian perspectives. The media's failure to represent Christian voices on climate change has also contributed to a lack of engagement and action on the issue within the Christian community. If Christians feel that their views are not being represented or valued, they are less likely to participate in the conversation or to take action on the issue. In conclusion, the mainstream media's portrayal of global warming has contributed to a sense of oppression among Christians. The media's tendency to conflate environmentalism with atheism, its lack of representation of Christian perspectives, and its binary framework for discussing climate change have all contributed to a false narrative that pits Christianity against environmentalism. This narrative is not only misleading, but also damaging, as it ignores the complexity and diversity of Christian views on the issue. By failing to represent Christian perspectives and by perpetuating a biased narrative, the media has contributed to a sense of marginalization and exclusion among Christians. It is essential that the media takes a more nuanced and balanced approach to covering climate change, one that acknowledges the diversity of perspectives within the Christian community and values the contributions of Christian environmentalists.